Hello, you Lurcher for Life here, bringing guys a brand new video. This time around, it's a deck profile on Noble Knights. So I think this is actually like my first time doing a deck profile on Noble Knights, despite how much I love this deck. So I finally got everything I needed to finish it up, including the new stuff. And I really feel like that the new stuff really makes sure the deck is viable as just a casual rogue deck that maybe you could top at your locals with. And if you're really good, maybe a regionals in a slower format. But however, I really feel like that the new stuff isn't, enough to get the deck to be super competitive, but it still adds so much to this deck, so I just had to go and finish it up finally. So, enough rambling, let's go into the deck profile. So first and foremost, triple Noble Knight Meddraw. Kind of goes without saying, Meddraw is your main starter card, and he just gets the deck rolling. For those who don't know, basically what he is, he's kind of like a Gemini. When he's equipped with an equipped card, he becomes an effect monster that's level 5 and dark, and then once per turn, if you control no monsters, you can spell summon a Noble Knight from your deck in defense position, and then destroy one equipped card you control. So you generally destroy one of your own equips, re-equip that equipped card onto the Noble Knight you just summoned, or onto Meddraw again if you really want to, and then proceed to do combos off of there. Really good card. You generally want to see him as soon as possible, and thankfully, thanks to Merlin being out, we can do that. So Merlin is pretty cool. He has two effects, but really the only one you need to care about is his graveyard effect. I mean, his graveyard effect is the one you don't care about. His monster effect while on the field, you contribute him, spell summon any Noble Knight from your deck, and that just is really good. It's a freaking lone fire for the deck. And his graveyard effect doesn't ever really come up. Basically, during your player's turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Immediately after that, synchro summon or Xyz summon a Noble Knight, Xyz or synchro using monsters you control as the materials. It's really good. But his second effect just does not ever come up. It's mainly his first effect to, well, just get a Noble Knight on field. After that, we got two Noble Knight YgoAmino. I'm kind of flip-flopping between 2 and 3 of them. He's another combo maker, but however, I don't know. I can't really decide because 3 seems like too much, but at the same time, 2, I don't see him as often as I want to. Generally speaking, you're going to be searching him off of Isolde, or you're going to be making Isolde with him. Really good card overall. If you control a normal monster, you can just plop him on the field in defense position. There's no limit to how many you can do that, so if you have multiple in hand, you can drop them all on the field. Next up, we got 2 Noble Knight Boars. So Boars is the main one that you're going to be summoning off of Meddraw, because when Meddraw pops the equip spell, you re-equip it onto Boars. And then Boars is basically a power tool dragon while equipped with an equip spell. He becomes level 5, and I don't know if he becomes dark like Meddraw does, but yeah, he does. So anyway, so then once per turn, you can reveal 3 Noble Arms equipped cards in your deck. Your opponent picks 1, and then that one goes to your hand, the other 2 go to grave. Pretty simple, just really helps out the deck and gets your stuff in the graveyard and of course in your hand. Just simply to go off from there. Really good card. Then we got Noble Knight Bedweir. I'm probably butchering that. So Noble Knight Bedweir, whenever he's normal summon, you can pitch a Noble Arms from your deck to your graveyard, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you can send any Noble Arms equipped spell from your deck to your graveyard. And then once per turn during your first turn, you can equip a Noble Arms from one Noble Knight to another Noble Knight. Pretty useful for combos and for just, well, general plays, like for instance, oh no, my monster's gonna die. Okay, re-equip the one that boosts my monster by 1,000 onto him, so now he doesn't die. It's pretty simple stuff like that. And then we got 2 Guinevere, the Queen of the Noble Arms. Really good card. She's basically just another Noble Arms card. You can equip her onto a monster once per turn from your hand or graveyard, and then depending on its attribute, it gets a certain effect. The big thing is that she's just another equipped spell, and she does give that monster 300 attack no matter what. And then if it's light, if the monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy this card instead. And then dark, if the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster at the start of the damage step, you can destroy that monster, then destroy this card. So really good card, depending on the situations. And hey, 300 attack may not seem like much, but with all the other attack gaining, it stacks up real quick. It's crazy. Then we got 2 Lady of the Lake. I really hate it how she's not a Noble Knight. But anyway, so if she's in the graveyard, you can reduce the level of a Noble Knight that's level 5 or higher by 1, spell summon her from the graveyard. And then if she's normal summon, you can target a normal monster in the graveyard, special summon it. Really good card. The only big issue I have with her is that she banishes herself when she leaves the field for a synchro summon. Incredibly annoying that she does that. but I can't really blame them for, well, trying to build in some sort of restriction on this card, because she is an amazing card overall. Heck, you don't even have to like use her for synchro fodder with the reducing thing. You can just reduce a dude, special summon her, and then make an Xyz with the guy that you just reduced and another one, which allows for some shenanigans. Really good card overall though, just in general. And then we got one Lancelin, Ignoble Knight of Black Lancelin. So this card I've seen some people play, some people not. Basically, if he's in your hand or graveyard, you contribute a Noble Knight, special summon it from your hand, or a graveyard. And then once per turn, you contribute a Noble Knight, add a Noble Arms, or I think a Noble Arm, add one Noble Arms card from your deck to your hand. So he can search out this equipped spells. He's just another way to do it. And he's a pretty good beater overall, and is a target for Lady of the Lake's graveyard effect. Noble Knight each char, so basically this guy, if you have him in your graveyard or your hand, you can banish 2 Noble Knights from your graveyard, special summon him, and then a monster that uses him as a synchro or Xyz material basically becomes, how do I phrase it? Oh yeah, your opponent can't respond to its summon, which is really, really, really good. So really good card overall, but he's only really a one of because you generally want to pitch him in your graveyard. Then we got one Noble Knight Artorius. He's the vanilla monster, the beater from way back when. His flavor text is a poem, so read it sometime if you got the time. Then we got Noble Knight Dristan. Dristan is really, really interesting. So basically, your opponent has to attack him. They can't attack other dudes that are 1800 or lower. And then once per turn, if he's equipped with an equipped spell, destroy 1 card on a field. Target 1 face-up card on the field, destroy it, and that is mandatory. So if he's the only one by himself, you have to either pop him or the equipped spell. It's really, really annoying, so make sure you pay attention whenever you do that. Then we got one Noble Knight Guashavad. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that too. He's really good recursion. If he's equipped with an equipped spell, you can pop the equipped spell, add a Noble Knight from your graveyard to your hand. It's just really useful for that kind of plays. And then we got one Noble Knight Brothers. So basically the big thing about him is he can't attack unless you control exactly 3 Noble Knights. It's really stupid. But the big thing is that whenever he's normal summon, you can special summon up to 2 other Noble Knights from your hand. And then once per turn, you can target 3 Noble Knights or Noble Arms, if I remember correctly. I don't want to... Yeah, so 3 Noble Knights and or Noble Arm cards in your graveyard. Shuffle all 3 into the deck and then draw 1 card. So that's a really, really helpful recursion effect. Just really, really useful for the deck and getting stuff back into your deck so you can do more plays, getting your Xyz, your Synchro, your Link back into the extra so you can make them again. Really, really helpful card overall. That's it for the monsters. If I had the money for the big hand traps, I would play them. Because this deck can't really play normal traps too much. And then, so now for the spells, we got the first spell, which is Glory of the Noble Knights. This is one of the new cards. Amazing artwork and amazing effect. It's a quick play. Target 1 Noble Knight monster you control. Equip it with a Noble Arms card from your deck. Really, really, really good. It's a hard once per turn though, which is a bit annoying. But however, it is in essence another Noble Arms card while also reducing how many Noble Arms you have to play. Really, really good card overall. And it counts also as a Noble Knight card, so that helps out with the field spell. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for playing a field spell. 2 Noble Arms Gallatin. So Gallatin is pretty simple. You equip it onto a Noble Knight, onto any warrior, and then it gains 1,000 attack. Then it also drops by 200 for every standby phase that's permanent. And then if it's destroyed, you can re-equip it onto a Noble Knight you control. Really, really useful card overall. And then next up we got 2 Noble Arms, can't read that text, Caliburn. So this card, you basically equip it onto a Noble Knight monster, any warrior monster. It gains 500 attack, once per turn you can gain 500 life points, and then also, of course, if it's destroyed, you can re-equip it onto a Noble Knight monster, just like the others. 2 Noble Arms of Destiny. While this card is equipped to a monster, that monster cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects once per turn. And then if it's destroyed, you can re-equip it onto a monster. Pretty simple, once again. Then we got one Noble Arms Arfididor, I can't pronounce this for the life of me. So this card, once per turn, you can reduce the attack of the monster it's equipped to by 500, destroy one face down card your opponent controls. The attack decrease is permanent, which is incredibly annoying, but it's another Noble Arms card. Until we get in better Noble Arms, you kind of gotta play it, which is a bit annoying. Then we got one Noble Arms Excalibur. I want to play two, but for the life of me, I can't find another. So this card is the only Noble Arms equipped card that does not re-equip, and basically, while it's equipped onto a Noble Knight, that monster can't be targeted by card effects except your own, and then while it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to basically rank up or rank down the Xyz into the other Xyz, which is really, really cool. But however, it does suck that you can't re-equip it though. That's like my only real issue. I get it that it's supposed to get into the graveyard, but it's still kind of annoying. Then we got last chapter of the Noble Knights. I've been kind of debating between 1 and 2 of this because this card is a comeback card and it's a really good comeback card. But however, it can be a brick if you aren't in a losing position. So this card, if you control no monsters, you can target one Noble Knight monster and one Noble Arms card, spell summon the monster and equip it with the Noble Arms card. You can only activate one copy of last chapter of the Noble Knights once per turn. And this card is really, really good, and it's an amazing comeback card. But again, that's just it. You gotta be in a losing position to really make full use of this card. It's a great top deck though, but it's still, you really gotta be in a losing position to really make the most use of this card. So that's why I'm only running 1. If you think it's worth playing 2, you can play 2, but I'm only playing 1 right now. Then we got one Noble Knights of the Round Table. So this is an interesting field spell. Some people like it, some people hate it. But basically it gains more effects based on how many Noble Knights with different names there are on the field or in a graveyard. And it works a lot like good old Ancient City Rainbow Ruins in that sense, but however, this card is nothing compared to Ancient City Rainbow Ruins. So during the end phase, you can activate each of these effects up to once per turn, depending on the total number of Noble Knight cards with different names in your graveyard and or you control. 3 or more, send one Noble Knight card from your deck to the graveyard. 6 or more, spell summon a Noble Knight from your hand, and you can equip it with one Noble Arms equipped spell from your hand to that monster. 9 or more, target one Noble Knight monster in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. 12 or more, draw 1 card. So this card is really useful. It gets more powerful as the game goes on. But my big issue is that it's too slow, it activates at the end phase, and also, of course, it doesn't count the Noble Arms. Why does it not do that? If this card counted Noble Arms, this card would be an instant 3 of, because it would be so incredibly easy to get to the 12 and get all of those effects if it counted the Noble Arms. But because it only counts Noble Knight cards, it's only as a 1 of, but it does count Noble Knight cards, not Noble Knight monsters, so it's really useful in that sense. 1 soul charge for the big comeback play, which is a lot better than last chapter. 1 Rhoda because we need as much searching as possible. 1 Fool's Burial to get stuff in graveyard. 1 1-for-1, and then finally, because I do play 1 trap, 1 Solemn Judgment because this card's back, and this deck can't really afford to play too much traps, but hey, Solemn Judgment is pretty darn good, just being able to stop everything. So yeah, I think it's worth playing in this deck. Now then, on to the extra deck. So first and foremost, we got triple Isolde of the, two Tales of the Noble Knights. If you don't know anything about Arthurian legend, like research the whole thing with Isolde. It's really, really interesting. But I digress. So this card is really, really good for not just Noble Knights, but warrior decks in general. So she just needs 2 warriors to go into. Whenever she's thinking something, you can add 1 warrior monster from your deck to your hand. That monster cannot be summoned or use its effects this turn, which is really, really, really annoying. And then once per turn, you can send any number of equipped spells from your deck to the graveyard. Spell summon 1 warrior from your deck whose level is equal to the number of equipped spells you sent. That effect, the second effect, I'm not gonna lie, you don't really tend to use too much because this deck does go through its equipped spells really quickly. But however, the first effect is the big thing. Just being able to get a free search, set up for next turn, get ready for next turn. Heck, if I was playing BLS, you could search BLS. I've seen some people do that. I personally don't like BLS enough to play them in this deck, mostly because there's just not enough darks, but I digress. Still, this card is incredible, just being able to make it super easily in this deck. Generally speaking, what you do is you make, so you normal summon Medraut, equip them, use its effects, summon boars, equip Boars, use Boars' effect to do some searching. And then if you have YgoAmino, you special summon YgoAmino, and then you just kind of go off from there. It enables so much stupid stuff, I love it. Oh god. Okay, so now then, on to the rest. We got 2 of the Artorias, King of the Noble Knights. So this guy, he's the rank 4. Whenever he's Xyz summon, he can target up to 3 noble arms in your graveyard, equip them onto him, and then once per turn he can detach an Xyz material and destroy spells or traps your opponent controls up to the number of equipped spells you control. Really, really powerful card overall, and in a back row heavy format, he's just stupid, and since Pendulum Magicians are so popular lately, being able to get rid of their scales and their pendulum graphs is really, really nice. Insanely good card, like just overall. And then we got 2 Heroic Champion Excalibur. People forget about this card, but hey, making a big 4K beater and going for game is pretty nice. 1 Castel just for spot removal, 1 Baguska just in case, 1 Heroic Champion Godiva. This guy is really, really obnoxious for your opponent. So basically, while he's out on the field, once per turn, if your opponent would special summon a monster, should probably read it off because this card has a really complicated effect. Once per turn, when a level 4 or lower monster is special into your opponent's side of the field, except during the damage step, you can detach 1 Xyz material, destroy that monster. So basically, the big thing is that if you're in its monsters, like in parentheses, so if your opponent like activates good old soul charge, summons out 4, you can detach, destroy all 4. It's really, really stupid. I love it. Also works against pendulums really well for that. So your opponent really does have to play around him pretty hard because it's super obnoxious. 1 Blade Armor Ninja for the OTKs. 1 Sacred Noble Knight King of King Artorias. God, that name. So this guy, he's the rank 5 version of the deck, so he's basically just a bigger Artorias. He equips 3 Noble Knights from your Noble Arms onto him from your graveyard. And once per turn, he can detach Xyz material, pop 1 monster, and then he has a recursion effect, if I remember correctly, that never ever happens. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 level 4 or higher Noble Knight monster in your graveyard special on that target. So he's useful in that way, just for recursion. I do think the rank 4 is a bit better, just for general, in terms of removal, because he can pop multiple stuff, but popping monsters is generally better than popping spells and traps, but he's still really, really, really good. It really does depend on the format though, if you play 2 or 1. I'm currently playing 1 just because rank 4 is just better in most situations nowadays for getting rid of the pendulums and stuff, but in another format where getting rid of monsters is a bit better, he's going to be more useful. 1 Abyss Dweller, he got out of order somehow, so Abyss Dweller just useful for stopping stuff in grave. And then 1 number 61 Volcanosaurus, just for general, just being a beater and have another rank 5 option if I need one. And then finally for the last card, 1, oh god, I can't read the lettering from the lighting, Ignoble Knight of High Lancelin. So this is the only synchro in the deck, which kind of does suck. I really wish this deck got another synchro at least. Anyway, so this card, whenever he attacks, you can equip a Noble Arms card directly onto him. And then if you destroy something in battle, you can get... so let's see, whenever this card is synchro summoned, you can equip a Noble Arms, equip a spell onto him from your deck. At the start of the battle phase, at the end of the battle phase, if this card destroyed a monster in battle and sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Noble Knight or Arms card from your deck to your hand. You can only control 1 of them, which really does suck. I think the 2 Xyz have that as well, which is a bit annoying, but I digress. So this guy is really good overall at just being a searcher and just being able to be a big beater. He's another option too overall. Really good card. So that's the deck profile. What do you guys think of Noble Knights? Do you think that they'll ever get like good enough support to be anything noteworthy in the meta? I'm starting to think no, which really does suck because I like this deck a lot. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. See you all later. Peace out. If you have any ideas, recommendations, or concerns, please leave your comments down below. I do read them. I may not always respond, but I do read them. Thank you all for watching. See you guys later. Goodbye.